Satya Dharma Reflection and the offering of the Mahasankatan on February 28, 2022. May all beings humbly offer the Mahasankatan. May we all, together with all beings, humans and non-humans, in all realms of existence, humbly offer the Mahasankatan, together with the four necessities and all followers, whether they are in the non-human beings or the human beings. May we invite the Mahabarami in all graces, please preside over to receive the Mahasankatan from all of us. Any merit which has arisen from this giving by Nibbana as it is, may all beings in all realms of existence, the karmic debtors, and all the karmic debtors of the karmic debtors, be shared and be part of this giving and be aligned with the Satya Dharma of Nibbana as it is and be part of the blessing all beings, following the Buddhas, following the Mahaparami, forever and ever. May everything, may all karma from all realms of existence, binding by karma and karmic difficulties, by the samutaya of karma, which has been since across Buddha eras, from the first, these assumed body-mind, which has arisen from the bondage of this body and mind, whether they are good or not good, in all the samsara, may it be forgiven. Ahosi, ahosi, ahosi. Retreat from the mind a lot more and from the non-attachment. Don't be obsessed to be concerned with using the mind. That which has nothing to do with the disregarding, so that it will purify through the emptiness and extinction naturally, instantly. To use the mind a lot, then is a lot. There will be a lot of karmic difficulties of the mind that follows if the mind is used a lot. Then without purification, being obsessed to use the mind, looking, seeing and knowing, thinking, recalling feelings and emotions, the karmic difficulties will be remained within samsara. So instantly purify it. There's not much with anything. Don't be obsessed to be much with anything. Nothing is within the uninvolved instantly. Uninvolved is not the uninvolved instantly. Naturally, it will be the purification of emptiness. Let's purify through the emptiness only. Nothing is within the disregarding. Retreat from the disregarding instantly. Nothing is within the uninvolved. Directly purify through the emptiness. Let's purify only. To be obsessed to use the mind a lot. More than purifying, then there will be the leftover of Vedana and hindrances. Cholesteric traits and habits will be left over. That which is not habits or characteristics is because the assume up of body, mind, physically, verbally, behaviors is a lot. It becomes habits and characteristic traits. So don't be obsessed to be concerned to use them. There's a lot of Vedanas and hindrances that are left over. Being obsessed with the body and the mind and using verbal. Uninvolved is not about anything within the uninvolved. Disregarding is not about anything within itself. Then it will not be about putting the extinction into oneself. Just like what they said, putting the goodness to oneself. On and on. Disregard is not the disregard. Uninvolved is not the uninvolved. So that there is not just about putting the goodness into oneself. So that there will be no attachment just about goodness. So that it will not be only about ending, extinction or liberation. This will be continuation of helping through the extinction and ending for samsara. Nothing is within the disregarding. Then it will turn into purification of the emptiness for samsara. Then it will be natural in that way. Nothing is within the uninvolved itself. Then it will turn into helping through the unwinding, through releasing, through purification of emptiness, helping samsara in the natural way. Open up the senses and sense perceptions without closing up, without entrapping the senses and sense perceptions, not using the delusive attachment to cover up, to maintain, to compose, to restrain. This is only entrapment of the delusive attachment. The elements are not limited within themselves naturally. The elements that are bygone within themselves naturally. Therefore, don't close them up. The senses that are already open up, eyes, ears, nose, tongue, body, and mind that are already open up, don't block them. Don't oppress and restrain them. It's not about anything within the restraint or not. Disregarding is not itself. Nothing is within the disregarding itself. It will help through the unwinding totally, especially the delusive attachment that lock up the body and mind, that always blocking the body-mind will be totally released, naturally released. Nothing is within the uninvolved itself directly, purified through the emptiness directly. Not to be obsessed to put in anything of the goodness into oneself on and on. Goodness is to be given for samsara, not just to be taken. The goodness is to be given for samsara. All the merits and blessed fortunes also are to be given for samsara, not to do it for oneself and taking the goodness into oneself, because that is become delusion of the fixation. Even the basic can become realm of existence. The basic must be the liberation, no fixation, is to be done in the way that is liberating in itself as is done. To be determined to do it, it's gonna be heavy in the way of fixation, and it's gonna continue into the future in such a way. Nothing is within the non-attachment itself. With this, it will not be just about emptiness or extinction, especially for oneself. Open up the senses and sense perceptions. The blessing will be balanced for samsara naturally. It will be natural purification of extinction and emptiness. Keep eyes, ears, nose, tongue, body, and mind, inside and outside, open up with the balance to the samsara. uninvolved even within the uninvolved itself. There's no pitfalls in it. This is even beyond gratitude, having gratitude, let alone the pitfalls. Nothing is within the uninvolved itself instantly. This will be natural purification of the emptiness, which is greatly, which is unbound. To be obsessed, to use the mind, looking, seeing, knowing, thinking, recalling characteristic traits, is gonna be a lot of the leftover, using more than purifying. Therefore, there's a leftover. Turning into habits, delusively using the traits. That which is not the traits become traits. That which is not a habit become the habit. The old habits are not yet abandoned. There are new habits that are created again. Let's purify further on. Uninvolved even within the uninvolved itself instantly. Nothing is within the uninvolved itself. Nothing is within the non-attachment itself. Even the disregarding is not itself. Let's purify onwards. There is no need to dig out anything. This is not the subject of the chicken liking to dig out. This will make oneself turn into realms of chicken and ducks. Verbal, is not purified itself. Therefore, it becomes the karmic difficulties that are left over from the verbals. These will be fated into those who are like animals with wings. The non-attachment is considered as good, but it's not yet beyond itself. So nothing is within the disregarding. Then it will be purification that is unbound for samsara. This is not just about the surroundings, but it's meant for the whole samsara. To be stuck with just disregarding or not, it will just be stuck with the extinction. This is taking the goodness into oneself. Go ahead, help samsara through the unwinding and releasing. Nothing is within the non-attachment itself. Nothing is within the unrevolved itself. Without discrimination between samsara and nibbana, let's purify the opinions of the duality of titi. Purify it. The meanings of nibbana, the meanings of samsara is called titi. This is the titi of duality. There is no need to separate it, to discriminate it. Nothing is within the non-attachment itself simultaneously. Nothing is within the unrevolved itself simultaneously. Purify through the emptiness simultaneously, without discrimination to samsara or nibbana. Don't be deluded to discriminate it. Otherwise, you're going to be fated to always discriminate it in the future. Nothing is within the non-attachment itself. Nothing is within the disregarding itself. Nothing is within the uninvolved itself. Senses and sense perception that's already open, let them open as usual. This is the blessing that is collective. Together with the senses, together with sense perceptions, internally and externally, is collective blessing. Nothing is within the disregarding itself. Nothing is within the uninvolved itself. Less directly purifying. Uninvolved within itself, uninvolved within the non-attachment itself, so that it will be totally purifying all the restless, all the intervention of the mind. This is all about samudaya. We are not coming here to sightseeing samsara or traveling, making a trip in the samsara. Are you coming here to purify samsara or making a trip in it? This body mind is assumed in order to purify or to be deluded to look, to see, to know within samsara, making a trip in samsara, delusively using feelings, emotions, opinions and meanings. This is traveling into samsara in such a way on and on. Are you coming here to purify it or becoming samsara yourself? Are you going to become a burden yourself or coming to purify the burdens? If you are here to help purify it, then uninvolved with the disregarding itself, uninvolved even within the uninvolved itself simultaneously altogether. No grasping the non-attachment itself, that which is not involved with the non-attachment itself. Nothing is within the uninvolved itself. Let's share the Mahasankathan. Share it, distribute it.